Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. Welcome back to another Division 2 video, and we finally have some more news about Seasons 2.0, Manhunt 2.0, and then of course indirectly as well about the seasonal characters. I'm gonna read through the explanation about Manhunt 2.0, Seasons 2.0, and then of course the seasonal characters. And at the end there are a few questions in here. I'm not going to read through all of the questions. I'm gonna pick out a few that I find important. And of course, if you wanna read with me or read it on your own pace, I will leave the link in the descriptions down below. But let's get it started. Agents, we've heard your concerns regarding the introduction of the seasonal characters in Division 2 with Seasons 2.0 later this year. We want to clarify how seasonal characters will impact your existing main characters and answer a few questions about Seasons 2.0. The main idea behind Seasons 2.0 is to break away from the current repetitive seasonal model by transforming the entire experience. With your main characters, we need to consider various progression and power levels, making it nearly impossible to create a well-balanced experience that is enjoyable for all. Starting all players at level 1 ensures that we will have a clear understanding of where they are in their progression journey when faced with specific challenges. To put it simply, in order to craft challenges with precision, we need a fresh start. Additionally, season resets bring another layer of excitement since modifiers are phased out at the end of each season, giving us the freedom to impact gameplay far beyond what permanent mechanics would allow. We omitted one important detail from the Year 6 introduction. With the revamped seasonal progression, you will have the opportunity to bring your main character into the last 2 weeks of each season, known as intermission. The intermission allows you to revisit your main character with the new content and seasonal progression, using your current arsenal for experimentation, strategy, and dominance. At the start of the intermission, all rewards earned with the seasonal character, including SHD levels, proficiency rank, stash items, and collectibles, will be transferred over to your main character. This transfer ensures that your main character will be more powerful than ever and prepared to tackle the season's climax on normal or master difficulty, should you choose to experience the remainder of the season with your main agent. Get ready to see your favorites in a whole new way. During this time, the seasonal character will be added to your roster, giving you an option to play the season's climax mission with either the seasonal character or your preferred main character. In Seasons 2.0, seasonal character progression is significantly sped up, allowing you to reach level 40 more quickly and gain SHD levels at a faster rate. This progress will be shared with your main character at the start of the intermission. Expertise upgrades will not be available for the seasonal characters. Instead, the SHD watch bonuses will be increased to account for the missing power coming from the expertise. Proficiency can still be earned by seasonal characters and will be merged at the end of each season. Please note that proficiency alone does not impact gameplay. And finally, as a seasonal character progression to level 40, they will not have to complete the entire campaign again. Instead, they will have the freedom to choose which content they experience without worrying about completing certain missions for specific unlocks. However, there is more to the upcoming changes than just transitioning to a seasonal characters. We will share with you detailed information by hosting a live Q&A session, our PTS, and during various livestreams in the coming months to guide you through these changes. We also encourage you to explore our Year 6 Season 1 First Rogue page, as it may answer some of your questions. Again, I will leave that link to the Year 6 Season 1 First Rogue page as well. And there are already a couple of interesting things that they kinda skipped on Ubisoft Forward, as we still can play with our main character within the seasons, or better said, within the intermission. So the last 2 weeks of each season, and each season will take 15 weeks. Last 2 weeks of each season, we can encounter the climax mission within the intermission. So it seems to me like we still can't play the seasons with our main character. We need that seasonal character for that. But if you want to play that climax mission, that special mission that can hold that master difficulty, you can play that in the last 2 weeks of the season with your main character. Also, there are SHD levels included, so that is a huge W if you ask me. The moment that we reach level 40, we probably can get some extra SHD levels in, but this is already a W for me, getting at least our SHD levels to our main character, so we don't really skip on XP. I know our main character has all our builds, has all the stuff that you grinded for years, for thousands of hours, but we still get something back at the end of those 2 weeks. With the SHG levels, proficiency rank, stash items and collectibles. Everything that we will get in that season will still be transferred over. The only thing I'm a little bit bummed out about is that we, air quote, can only play the intermission phase within the season, and that is only 2 weeks. And then of course that the progression to level 40 on a seasonal character is significantly sped up, and we will come to that in one of the questions down below. So let's read through those questions and give you some more information about what is to come, and maybe we'll answer some questions that you still have. And like I said in the intro, I will focus on a few questions, especially around Seasons 2.0, Manhunt 2.0 and the seasonal characters, as there are a few other questions and answers in here as well. Just read them throughout the link down below. So starting with seasonal and non-seasonal characters. Will we be giving an extra stash space and or an extra character slot? An additional character slot will be added to support Seasons 2.0 along with an extra storage space. However, it is worth noting that no extra slots will be added for each individual season. So that means, yes, we will get our 5th slot, our seasonal slot. You don't have to delete any of your 4 characters. We will get that 5th seasonal slot. But after the season is over, we probably have to delete that seasonal slot or one of our other characters to get another seasonal character going. What is the point of keeping your main character if you can't use them for 90% of the future content coming to the game? Very, very valid question. We have taken measures to ensure that both seasonal and non-seasonal characters have meaningful roles and cool things to do in the game. The current model reinforced the way a lot of players are using some characters as support for their main character at the account level. Seasonal characters serve a similar purpose on top of facilitating an awesome experience in the seasons through the manhunts and modifiers. Additionally, seasonal characters also contribute to the overall account progression, which is presented through the power level of the main character. The main character remains the foundation of the account, enabling players to take on challenges at the highest power and difficulty levels. Furthermore, upcoming DLCs, plural, will present a chance to take on challenges with your primary characters and its corresponding power level. Additionally, only non-seasonal characters will have access to the legacy manhunts. So the first thing that instantly popped in my mind that they are saying DLCs plural. They're not saying the up and coming DLC. They're saying the up and coming DLCs. Would this be a mistake, or can we expect more DLCs coming in the future? And hopefully this explains a little bit for you what you can use for your main character and what you can't use for your main character. Of course, we can still play with our main character whatever we want to do, but the seasonal content and or the seasonal rewards will only be available at the last 2 weeks of each season and then moving forward until the next season starts. So I feel like they didn't really answer the question over here, but overall they gave us some good information. Will there be new content for the main non-seasonal characters? Non-seasonal characters will continue to have access to all existing game content, including both WONI and the upcoming DLC. Right now, there are no intentions to introduce another incursion or raid, and that is a big bummer for me. We always thought that we at least will get one extra incursion, and in my humble opinion, I really thought that we could at least get 2 incursions. I knew a raid would be very tough. That is a lot of resources, and I thought that they would already have set up something for the incursions, as for example Daria told us a couple of times that we will have to look at the incursions plural. And that's why I'm doubting a little bit if we will get more DLCs as well, or this is just a typo and from Daria it was just a mistake that she made. But yeah, no extra incursion or no extra raid is kind of a bummer, but on the other side we have a DLC to look forward to. What is also very important is the next question: will seasonal characters have access to their existing recalibration library? The recalibration library will be shared between seasonal and non-seasonal characters, the only exception being seasonal specific gear. During the season, you can transfer seasonal specific gear talents to your library, where they will become accessible to your main character at the beginning of the intermission. So this is already great. We can still use our recalibration station. We can still roll everything in there. And if then the last 2 weeks that intermission phase starts, everything will be set over to your main character. We don't have to farm it again. We don't have to find the new gear sets again. We don't have to find the new talents again. It will already be in our library. And then, will seasonal characters be able to use the account-wide resources materials? Seasonal characters will have their own separate pool of shared resources and materials, which will not be shared with the non-seasonal characters pool. So this kind of tells me that we will not get our SHD levels as well. Please let me know in the comments down below if you feel like I'm wrong. But this kind of confirms that we are building our own stuff within the seasonal character. And after the seasonal character is over, everything will be moved over. So we won't have the materials from our main character. We won't have the resources from our main character. And that kinda tells me we won't have the SHD levels as well. Again, these are my thoughts and I could be wrong on that. And then jumping over to Manhunt 2.0, will the new master difficulty be in any way available for non-seasonal characters? Yes, the climax mission on master difficulty will be available for both seasonal and non-seasonal characters during the intermission, a 2-week period between seasons. So that again shows us that we can play that climax mission only with our non-seasonal characters within a time span of 2 weeks. Why tie the Manhunt to seasonal characters' participation? In Seasons 2.0, the optimal way to experience the story is through the seasonal structure, utilizing a character with the appropriate power level to capitalize on features such as gameplay modifiers and seasonal items. The story will be adjusted to accommodate this new dynamic, with multiple agents fulfilling their roles throughout the season. Moreover, after the season ends, players can opt for the climax mission using their seasonal or primary character. And we already touched a couple of times on this. In the last 2 weeks in the intermission, we can play that climax mission also without a seasonal character. And then let's finish it off with a couple of questions within the seasonal journey. What will Seasons 2.0 consist of? There are 15 weeks of varied activities such as seasonal missions, seasonal projects, manhunt scouts, and priority objectives to be complete with your seasonal character, followed by a 2-week intermission period during which you can utilize your main character. Your non-seasonal characters can be accessed at any time during the season, but with no access to the seasonal content except for the 2 weeks intermission. Approximately how long is the accelerated grind to level 40 expected to take? And this is a very interesting one. The non-seasonal characters will require approximately 45 hours to complete. So they're saying that we can complete the main story from 1 to 40 within 45 hours, while the seasonal characters are expected to take around 15 hours for the same activities. So whenever we start our seasonal character, we will fly through that story in 3 times the fashion than we normally do. So that means that we will get a lot of boosts, we will feel very powerful, and to be honest with you, I'm not taking 45 hours. I will probably take around 30 hours. So in that way, it will probably take me around 10 hours to get the same activities done on that seasonal character. And this is of course a guess from them around how many times it will take an average player. Some people will take longer, some people will take that 45 hours, but I think most will be a lot faster. But this is already a huge W for me, that we at least will be way faster, and not just, for example, only having a golden bullet global event activated to give us some more rate of fire, some more power or whatever to help us go through those seasons. And then the last thing I want to touch on, and again there are a lot of more questions and answers, I would recommend you reading through this and getting a little bit more information. And maybe there are some more questions that you personally have and it might be in this Q&A, so I would recommend reading this article. If you then still have questions, you are of course more than welcome to jump back to the video and ask me, and I will see what I can do for you. But the last one, will the seasonal grind to level 40 consist of the same current activities, or will it be different each season? A very valid question. To reach level 40, the seasonal journey will act as a guide, providing simple and quick challenges that offer great completion rewards, while also aiding the player throughout unlocking key game systems. Additionally, at every point, players can complete a variety of other activities in the game at an increased progression rate. Each season will feature unique seasonal modifiers that affects both players and enemy NPCs, providing a different experience in previously played content. So I'm gonna be very honest with you, they're kinda beating around this question. The question is, will we still play the same activities? And they don't really answer that question if you ask me, but this reads that yes, we will still be playing the same content. Yes, we will go from level 1 to level 40, probably throughout the normal storyline again. And after 40, we are released and we can do whatever we want to get that additional seasonal XP. Again, that's how I'm reading it. If I'm wrong, if you read it in a different way, again, please let me know in the comments down below. So overall, I'm quite happy with what I'm reading. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the seasonal characters. We still have to wait and see. But a few things that they already explained gives a lot more clarification. And I'm a little bit more excited about it. I'm not saying I'm hyped. I'm saying I'm a little bit more excited about it. This reads pretty well. There are still a few things that I don't really agree with, but again, we will all have that. And of course, let me know your comments down below. I'm a little bit afraid to ask, but I would love to know what you would think about these changes. And does this clarify a little bit more for you? Yes, I know most of y'all are not really into the seasonal characters, but let's give it a try. This is a little bit more exciting than we had before, and I'm glad that they shared a lot more information for us to clarify a few questions that we had, because like I said in an earlier video, it's kinda wild that we had more questions than answers after that Ubisoft forward. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for sticking until the end. Make sure to read this article. There are more questions and answers in there, but I didn't want to have a video of half an hour as nobody wants that. Again, thank you very much for sticking until the end. Like the video if you liked the video or helped you out in any way or form. And make sure to hit that subscribe button as well if you want to be informed about the Division 2, the Division universe, and the future Division 3. I will catch y'all later. PurePrime out.